Okay, ladies, it's time to learn how to do the Wow Look color. The Wow Look is something that you're going to only be doing with a person's second makeover. Keep that first makeover to the 5-minute look so that she learns an everyday look, and then at her follow-up, remember we discussed in the first video or one of the first ones that there are 3 reasons why a person would consider having a follow-up appointment with you, that they would want to schedule that so that they can learn their wow look, so they can check the products and you can check the products to make sure everything is satisfactory, and that if they'd like they can share it with a couple of girlfriends and earn up to a $100 Mary Kay shopping spree. So the wow look is really important. When you go back to do that hostess's wow look, she's going to do the wow look and the rest of her guests at the table are going to do the 5-minute look. Now you might think that's seems like kind of crazy. How am I going to manage both of those things? Well, it really is possible. It's quite easy. You kind of just shift back and forth. You give the hostess, get her started on her look first because she's got more to do, and then you shift over and give the rest of the guests like their cream eye color, and then go back and work with the hostess a little bit more, give her a couple more steps, and then do mascara for the rest of the guests. Just kind of bounce back and forth a little bit. And, you know, we as women are designed to be multitaskers. I know you can handle it. It just takes a little bit of practice. Okay, so what you'll use for your wow look is really simple. You've gotten these color cards as part of your starter kit, and you just lay them out on the table and ask her to look at them and see which one she likes and what she'd like to try that day. And then you can pull out some coordinating eyeliner and lip liner pencils to go with that. You've gotten the cards in your original starter kit, and then we'll order some of these sample eyeliner and lip liner pencils for you when we do your first order. And so if you haven't got your first order yet, then just say, you know, we don't have those demonstration items to use yet. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just do your best. Mary Kay always said that you can do everything with a right attitude. If you have a good attitude, you can do everything wrong with a good attitude and you're going to succeed anyway. And if you have a bad attitude, if you do everything right, it doesn't matter how good you do it. If your attitude is bad, you're not going to succeed. So keep your attitude good and strong and positive, and you're going to just fly through this. So it's very simple. Okay, we're going to start with I always work from the eyes down. Now I have the color that I had just put on for the 5-minute look. So you can see that I have that beach blonde shimmery cream to powder eye color on there already. So this first look the first color isn't going to be quite as noticeable. But this is a makeup technique that I learned from Robert Jones, the makeup artist. You take the lightest color of shadow and you want to highlight the brow bone and also the lid. So you just put a little bit of that color up here, and this is Honey Spice. The color card that I'm using today is the Metals. That's the color card that I selected. I like those colors. So you put a little bit of that color up there to highlight the brow bone, and then you're going to put a little bit more down on the lid, everywhere except in the crease. You don't want this sparkly color in the crease. The purpose of doing 3 colors of shadow is to really shape your eye. So on the lid and the brow bone, just not in the middle. And again, remember we talked about demonstrating with brushes. This is the Mary Kay brush set. This is your opportunity to pull that out, have a demonstration set of that, and say, now the queen, our hostess, the queen tonight, gets to use the Mary Kay brush set. And this is a fabulous set, the case, the organizer, everything. Just talk about it a little bit. They'll be impressed with that. Then the next color that you're going to use here on your card is a brown tone, and usually the mid-tone color that goes through the crease is like a hazelnut or some kind of a flat or matte eye color without sparkles. Because this is the Metals card, this whole card has a little bit of shimmer to it, so it's kind of a sparkle and shine kind of a color collection. But the second color then is a brown shade, and it's going to just go right on the crease there, right across back and forth, just like a little windshield wiper, and then just you bring it up on the brow bone just a little bit also. So can you see how this eye just looks a little bit more open than this one, because I've brought that brown shade up onto the brow bone just ever so slightly. So I'll do that on the other side as well. Very simple application. It really makes it easy with the brushes, so you definitely want to add those to your repertoire of makeup tools for yourself just as soon as you can. Get a set of those out for yourself, because everything that you use and love, you're going to sell. So that's kind of fun too, just to have everything in Mary Kay for yourself. Next, we're going to go on back to the first brush again. And then you were using the accent shade. Now the accent shade is applied from the corner right here at the crease, or sorry, not the crease, right at the corner of your lid, and you're going to bring it down on the lid here and then up on over top of that second color that you put there. So this is going to look like kind of like a sideways V, or kind of like greater than, less than signs. If you remember that from geometry or algebra a million years ago. So you start at the outer corner, you sweep it down on the lid, and then you start there again and sweep it up onto the brow bone. So it's just adding a little bit of a pop of color there at the outer corner of your eye. And you see then the effect that that does, how it just kind of brings my eyes alive. So then we'll do that again on the other side. Start at the outer corner, sweep it in on the lid, and then right up over top of that brow bone. A little goes a long ways, and I tell you, the fun thing about our mineral powder or eye colors is that they're buildable colors. A little bit of color does go a long way, but the more, if you put on a little more, it just makes the color look a little bit richer. So that's fun. Okay, so then with your demo pencil, to teach her eyeliner application, pull the top off, and I always have them just kind of start the pencil a little bit on the back of their hand in case there's a little bit of a waxy buildup there. And for eyeliner application, then you want to put that liner, typically you would do this before mascara, but I already had it on for my 5-minute look. So you start that liner from the outer corner, and you can just do little tiny strokes. You don't have to have one perfect line all the way across. I usually do lots of little ones, and then I'll smudge it together with a brush. So that is eyeliner. And then the same thing on the bottom. It's going to go right in the lash line. Make sure the liner comes all the way up to the outer corner and connects the top line and the bottom line. You want them to be a definite, defined line that goes all the way around and defines your eye, the entire outline of your eye, all the way across the top and about 2/3 of the way in on the bottom. You don't want to go all the way in because it closes your eye up, and you also do not want to put your liner in there on that little tiny pink membrane there. That is not an eyeliner shelf. It is a mucous membrane for your eyes, and by putting a waxy based crayon in there, you can actually clog up your tear ducts and cause some irritations with your eyes. So definitely don't do that. So let me just throw the eyeliner on this side real quick. And you know, when I first started wearing eyeliner, here's a true confession for you. I was a Mary Kay consultant for a full year before I started wearing eyeliner because I just, you know, really wanted that natural look, and boy did I ever have it. For about my first 6 months, whenever I'd go to a bigger event, people would introduce themselves to me like they thought I was a guest because I didn't look like a consultant because I hardly wore any makeup. And that's not an exaggeration. Okay, the next thing that I do every single day, oh, I said we were going to smudge. Use your eyeliner, this little tiny brush with the angled end on it. Use that, and then you can even put a little bit of the color on the very tip of that brush, and then you're going to just smudge over that eyeliner. And what that's doing is just, again, giving it a little bit more of a natural look. It really makes a big, big difference. This brush can also be used for brow color application. I'm going to show you how to put on brow color using a brow pencil, but this brush works great if you happen to be using one of our shadows, like the hazelnut eye color, any of the matte color eyeshadows. You never want to use a sparkly in your brows, but the matte color brow, like hazelnut, is a good one. I'll actually just show that to you really quick on one side, and then I'll do the pencil on the other so you can kind of see that. Oops, wrong compact. So put a little bit of the color right on the tip of the brow, and then you want to just kind of fill it in just ever so slightly. And the nice thing about powder is that it looks completely natural. It doesn't look penciled at all. It's so nice. And putting color in your brows is super important. It makes a huge difference from the perspective of, like, if you have bad hair, how that makes your whole face look different. Well, it's like bad eyebrows is going to be making your eyes not look so good. So if you have good eyebrows, it's going to make your eyes look better. And if you have good hair, it makes your eyes look better. Obviously, I haven't done my hair yet today because we're doing makeup. So do you see the difference on the two sides? So that's with the powder shadow. And that's what I always do at parties. because we don't have demonstration pencils for our brow pencils. But this is, I used a classic blonde pencil because it does have just a little bit of a red tint to it. And you just pencil through so that it looks completely natural. And your brows, so that you just kind of, just so you have an idea of how they should look. Your eyebrow, you want it to start, you draw a line from the corner of your nose to the corner of your eye, your brow should start right there. And then if you tip your pencil or brush or whatever from the corner of your nose right across the pupil, it should peak right there. And then you tip it again from the corner of your nose to the corner of your eye. That's where it should end. It should be that perfect line. This one needs to come down just a little bit more. When you do that, that provides the perfect shape. That provides the perfect frame for your eye area. And that'll kind of give you an idea. If your brows are naturally fuller, let them stay full. Don't pluck them down so they're tiny, skinny little brows. Otherwise, they look kind of silly. Robert says that if you have naturally full brows, if you have them that way because God gave you them, and you need them for your face shape. And when you have them too thin, it tends to make you look a little bit older. Okay, so then give your client the cheek brush. Just tap a little bit of the color into the cheek brush. Start out here on the brow bone, or sorry, on the cheekbone, and brush it forward. Putting on a little bit of color on both sides. And then hand her the powder brush and blend in a circle with the powder brush. So that's pretty easy. Then lip liner. This is a tricky one for some people, but it's very easy. Just kind of color on the lines. Do the outline of the V first. And even if it's not very defined on you, just make it defined. Because it makes a big difference. I can't talk and do this, so I'll have to just, you'll have to watch. So do the V and then go out to the corners and start bottom center. And out to the corners, and then you fill it in a little bit. This is one of my favorite colors. It's the neutral lip liner. Okay, this is funny. You're going to love this. You see this little plastic thing with the lips? And it's got a dotted line in the center of it? You peel that thing off and fold it in half so that the lip stuff is on the outside, and then just like that. That's how you put your lipstick on for the demonstration for these little cards. Isn't that cool? It's really, really simple. So that's the Wow Look minus the lip gloss. I always give her a little bit of lip gloss too to finish that off. But that is a fun color. I don't have that one in my makeup bag yet, but now that I've tried it, it might just have to go in there. So that's your Wow Look color. You've done 5-minute color. You've done Wow Look color. On the next video, we will cover closing the Mary Kay party.